Our next guest is a man who has ascended the training tree in what seems to us like the blink of an eye. But in fact, his career goes back several decades. It's just had many incarnations. But what he has proven is that give him the material and he can accomplish the mission, be it with Arabian racehorses, point-to-pointers, national hunt horses. He's now got one of the favourites for the early classics and a clutch of horses who could go to the Cheltenham Festival, many in the yellow, black and white livery of the Gredley family. He is a man of many talents and a man for all seasons. James Owen, good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Thank you very much for coming in. And clearly, your headline act yesterday at Wincanton was Burdett Road, who suffered a narrow defeat at the hands of Golden Ace in the Kingwell. What were your reactions to the run?
Well, initial reactions during the race was, listen, hate getting beat, and I thought we ran very well on ground. It was probably softer than ideal. Sam got on well with him. We did our usual thing, which we've done the last two runs, made the running, and it looked like we had them burnt off coming down the home straight, and a mistake 2 out just sort of changed the reflection of the race, really. And Golden Ace, who probably looked the first beat, has come back and done us, probably just out-battled us, really, with getting that weight. And in the end, I don't think we've run well. Yes, it would have been lovely to go and win and then go straight for the champion hurdle. This just opens the door up. Do we go county hurdle with plenty of weight and claim off him? Alex Chadwick, who's done so well for me at home, and as a good amateur, could take he rides his horse every day. We have that option, so we'll get an entry in the county as well. He's only a 5-year-old, but we still haven't made our decision yet. I think on good ground yesterday, we'd have got the job done. I think the softer ground just went slightly against us, giving that weight away.
It can just get a little sort of dead and claggy at Wincanton when it gets like that, can't it? It can just blunt that little bit of pace.
Yeah, 100%. But he's a high horse with a high cruising speed, and we probably weren't allowed to. With that ground, the makeup of the race didn't let us use that to its best visibility.
You were supposed to have a whole flurry of winners yesterday, but you can't read the script every day. By and large, things are going extremely well this season.
Yeah, they're going great. Like yesterday, we had two horses. Lavender Hill Mob's was a potential to go to Cheltenham as well. And then another horse pops up, One Big Bang, who gone off the boil, wins the Potemps qualifier. He's back going to Cheltenham again, which is great. He was a cheap horse we bought, and he's done very well for the owners. And
is Lavender Hill Mob definitely you're going to have to improvise now?
Oh, we'll have to see what the handicapper does. It's a hard race to read, really. We beat the other horse that had a rating quite well, but I'd say that looked like that underperformed, and he's looking like he's not as good a hurdler as he is a flat horse anyway. So,
okay. And East India Doc is Burdett Road's half brother and is not quite favourite for the Triumph Hurdle, but not far off behind Lou Lambert. How's he getting on?
Yeah, he's great. He's run 3 times for us and won each time. He's won both the trials on the old course and the new course. He has a lovely way of going. Loves to jump, and whether he's close to them or long, he's very quick away from a hurdle, and I'm really excited about it for Cheltenham. He's just an uncomplicated horse, and he's in great form at home.
Is he just a better horse than Burdett Road?
I wouldn't say better. I'd say probably as a hurdler, he is uncomplicated. Goes on any ground, puts his head down, and is tough. You can see that. And where Burdett is probably a better flat horse, but he's doing well over hurdles.
Yeah. Okay. So they're different models, different futures likely for them.
I'd say so. Yeah. I'd say this horse is future lies over hurdles more than on the flat.
Okay. And so you've still got aspirations to send Burdett Road back on the flat and do some exciting things with him?
Oh, 100%. He'll only have one more run over hurdles this year. And listen, we want to end up, Tim and Mr. Gredley are keen to go back to Melbourne.
I thought you might say that.
He's on a lovely mark. He loves quick ground. He looks like he stays well. And it's a perfect race for him. He'll probably go to Sandown, have a break after Cheltenham, go to Sandown, and then go to the Ascot Gold Cup.
And that, of course, is after you've won the 2,000 guineas with Wimbledon Hawkeye.
There's an option for the guineas there. Listen, Wimbledon Hawkeye's done so well for us last year. You know, this time last year, I didn't even think I was going to train a 2-year-old. And we had a handful of 2-year-olds, 10 2-year-olds. And we had a Group 2 winner with Wimbledon Hawkeye, who was a homebred. And whether we go Guineas or we go the Dante might be the better route.
Okay.
We think he's a...
Derby horse.
I think he's more of a Derby horse. And to play him for the Derby, the Dante would be a better route. He doesn't escape the penalty in that. All the trials, he'll get a penalty. But if he was to go and win a Dante, you know, Derby's the next.
So then you've done the Dante and the Derby with Wimbledon Hawkeye, and then you roll on to Royal Ascot, where you win the Hardwick with Ambiente Friendly, who's just joined your yard. How's he settling in?
Yeah, he's a lovely horse. Listen, he did so well last year and been second in the Derby. And it was a hard phone call for me to make to James Fanjul. He was one of my clients when we were pre-training and had been, you know, so good to us. And but it's lovely for us to get this horse. And he's settled in great. He's cantering away. And the Hardwick is the early season aim. And he'll have a prep run before, where that will be, plenty of options. There's plenty of options, but...
How truly do you think he stays a mile and a half?
He did this day. He did in the Derby.
Do you think it was just simply beaten by better horse? He didn't run out of puff late.
Well, if the City of Troy wasn't in it, it's one of the best horses, you know, about. We've won it. He's won it well, hasn't he? And going away, so I'm sure he stays a mile and a half. His Irish run was a very good run as well. Very good run, and listen, he went a little bit off the boil then, but he looks great. And another year on him, maturity, and you know, if he learns to race a little bit, settles. But that should come with age. So
you said it was a hard phone call to make to James Fanshawe. I spoke to James. He was typically gracious, as you'd imagine. Was that the same when you and he spoke? Yeah.
He's an absolute gent. If I achieve in my career half as much as James Fanshawe has, I'll be happy.
And you're going the right way about it. As I said, it sort of seems like an overnight to success to all of us, but that you know, Richard, that reckons without all the backstory, which we're going to get in a minute.
Yeah, 100%. Because James, I first spoke to you, and then we had a succession of podcasts within a week. Yeah. You must have been sick of the sight of me. But it's that Steve Cawthon quote as the overnight success that trained for years to be an overnight success, and I didn't realise the depth of the background from the training yards to the Arabian horses. That meant that the groundwork was done. And the one thing I took from our interviews was this was no happy accident. You're very intent on where you're going, you're very set on where you're going, and it's a plan that, even though we're only seeing the fruition of it now, has been in your mind, I think, for quite a period of time.
Really since COVID, really. Listen, my pre-training business was fantastic, and with the Arabians, we have 20 Arabians for Shadwell, and we did really well. Like, we champion trainer in numerous of years. We've won HWPA awards for that, built up a great team, and you know, that's been able, the pre-training and the Arabians managed us to buy our property, so we were in a good place to, but then once COVID happened, the Arabians, and sadly Sheikh Hamdan passed away, the Arabians dispersed overnight. We were then left with a handful of Arabians, a few pointers. That was my itch, you know, we were having the winners, that gave me the buzz. But you couldn't make money out of you can't make money out of pointers unless you're trading them. You know, we've got horses for owner riders, and my wife still trains a few for owner riders, and that's our day off now, really. She doesn't believe me about that, but it's my day off. I'm going pointing in it later on. But we needed to fill that gap. We needed that security of horse to pay all year round when the pre-training is so up and down and seasonal. After COVID, it sort of got worse, the pre-training. You know, trainers wanted their horses in rather than with us. We were like a fifth lot for trainers. And we were empty, ups and down, you know, more empty stables, and you just couldn't see it making pay. So I said to my wife, if we would get a little licence and just train some jumpers, and mentioned it to Tim. We had 10, 12 stables to start with. They supported me with a horse called Father of Jazz, and a horse called Too Friendly during the summer. You know, they clicked, and we did well with them, won the summer plate. And it wasn't till we did well for a few other jumpers. It wasn't till sort of January, you know, sort of this time last year, when Tim spoke to me, he says, we're going to send you some flat horses, and you know, we always have their 2-year-olds pre-training. And he goes, you know, what do you think of the 2-year-olds? And we sort of went through them mid-season, early season, late season, and then he goes, when did the 2-year-olds races? I didn't know. We didn't know when the 2-year-old races started. It was quite funny. Like, Tim laughs about that, and we're learning, and we're a lot more on it this year. You know, we had a handful of 2-year-olds last year. We've got 30, 35 2-year-olds this year to go to war with, and some nice types as well. So the flat's gone well, and I've enjoyed the flat. And but you know, my love is the jumping. From having all those sort of empty stables to now surely nearly having the opposite issue. I suppose every time I go past your string, it seems to be growing at the rate of knots. So room can't be sort of there too much. I'd say you're sort of overflowing a little bit. Yeah, so we've got 87 licensed stables, and we're actually just building a few more stables there for to go up to 90 odd licensed stables. We have a unlicensed part of the yard with 25 in, and then I'm now helped by some pre-trainers up the road, which is great, and we oversee them as well, which, you know, they're helping us. But I don't want to go too big. I've got a great team. You know, Ryan King, my assistant, he's fantastic. My wife, you know, she's a vet in town, but she does a lot of looking at the horses with me and things like that, and helps me out, keeps me sort of on the straight and narrow. I've got a young girl called Lissy who she actually trains my Arabians for me now. She's enjoying that. And then I'm headed up in the office with, that was all there for the pre-training. We were all sort of 85 with the pre-trainers. And I have a guy called Ryan Tung who does all my entries and form. And that's, you know, that's a big part of it. And, you know, I do it with him, but he's a big part of it.
Do you need keeping on the straight and narrow?
Not really, no.
You seem pretty intensely focused.
Yeah, I'm fine, yeah. It's all good.
And for you, if I'd read off this list of big races that you've got, you know, in your sights, both flat and jumps, and it's all pretty realistic stuff. This isn't pie in the sky. If I'd read this off to you, you know, 18 months ago, for all your ambition, would you have quite believed it under both codes? Yeah,
I wouldn't have believed it at all. Wouldn't have believed it. It's gone great.
And what did all those years training Arabians, training pointers, riding pointers, let's not forget, and very successfully as well, what did all that give you for now?
I think it gave me a good ground. I'm actually not, you know, people say I'm young. I'm actually, you know, I'm 45. I've been around quite a while. Yeah, so it's quite young, but in this game it's probably not that young. It's I've made a lot, you know, I've made my mistakes with the Arabs. I've made my mistakes with the point-to-points. You know, I've learnt about the tracks and know quite a lot of people in it. It's great getting to know more people now. You know, now we're sort of higher up in the sport, which is great. But I think it's just, yeah, real good practice.
Are the basic principles exactly the same?
100% the same. 100% the same. There's no, I don't think it's, you know, Arabian racing is exactly the same, and it's given me a great grounding. We've still got Arabians, and I will still continue to Arabians as long as I've got room. I will have Arabians because, you know, the most expensive race we ran in last year was an Arabian race, and we'll continue to have Arabians and just hope we get some real good ones again.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.